It's time on VLGA Connect to meet with the President of the VLGA, Councillor Lambros Tapinos, the Mayor of Moreland City Council, a third-term mayor, to talk about the current issues facing the sector and how the VLGA can play an important role of support and advocacy. Councillor Tapinos, thank you very much for joining us on VLGA Connect. Great to have you here for the first, I'm sure, of many visits. How are you doing today?
Yes, I'm well, working from home, of course, as we all are. And
Indeed.
I'm pleased to be here talking to yourself and the local government sector.
How are you feeling about the sector at the moment in what we're grappling with? And, you know, as President of the VLGA, what do you think your members are sort of feeling at the moment?
Yeah, look, the state of emergency for the COVID-19 pandemic has been a difficult time for us all. Councils, as well as all communities, are facing a number of pressures. But can I begin by saying that firstly, my thoughts are with those impacted directly by this virus. So those self-isolating, those fighting the virus, and those awaiting results, as well as our doctors and nurses who are on the front lines saving lives. And of course, our business community that's doing it tough, and many people that have been unemployed. So councils right across Victoria are working to support their local communities during this pandemic and support their local economies.
Indeed, and as we've been discussing with some of our interviewees on this program, it's a unique crisis in that it's really touching everyone in some way. So all of your peer colleagues around the state are finding the same issues around keeping connected and engaged with community at a time when everyone is, very concerned. How are you going about keeping in touch with your constituents?
Yes, of course, all councillors and mayors across Victoria are working very hard at this time to respond to the COVID-19 emergency. A lot of our much loved facilities, pools, libraries are closed, as well as our national parks and many popular beaches are also closed. But councils are still providing essential services, whether that's waste collection, immunisation, maternal child health services, services for our senior Victorians who are most at risk during this pandemic, Meals on Wheels and home help. So many key services are being run, as well as additional services, wellbeing checks, to make sure that senior Victorians are able to receive the support they need during this time. And council is modifying the way it delivers these services, predominantly over the phone now and online. But recognising that this is a very difficult time for every local council and shire right across Victoria, because there will be loss of income from venue hire and so forth. And there will be additional expenses that we have because of these new services. So local government at the moment is doing it very tough, like we all are, but it is responding, and it's responding very quickly to support its local communities. And I know it's a cliche, but they say it's the level of government closest to the people. And it's at times like this, in times of a crisis, that local government is able to quickly respond to the needs of its community. And that's why many people say that.
Councillor, you're in your third term as mayor. I imagine this is the toughest time in your mayoral experience. How are you and your fellow councillors seeing your role right now? Where is your focus in terms of your councillor duties?
It is an important time for all community leaders, particularly mayors and councillors. Firstly, I see my role as the mayor in supporting our CEO, first and foremost, to be able to run the organisation and respond to this emergency, particularly if councillors are not able to meet in the future, if many councillors become sick or become self-isolating. So firstly, supporting the CEO, but secondly, also playing a very important role in the community in communicating the health messages that are coming across. And those are very clear: wash your hands, stay at home, social distancing and so forth. So councillors and mayors should be briefed about all the changes in the organisation and the response to the COVID emergency that's happening in their councils. But most importantly, they should support the CEO, and that's what I'm doing, and making sure that our community is getting the key health messages.
Well said. You are on the Ministerial Mayoral Advisory Council this year, which is a group that the Minister brings together by invitation, and I know the Minister seeks to have good representation from across the state, across the sector. I imagine COVID-19 is a topical issue for that council at the moment. What other things are top of mind?
COVID-19 is taking up all the attention. Everything else has been put on the back burner. But COVID-19 is really the pandemic we need to respond to now. So mayors are concerned about the timelines for council budgets. It's very difficult to consult the community at the moment without the ability to have face-to-face consultations. And we don't really know the real impact, the financial impact of this pandemic. So being able to push the adoption of the council budget to much later in the year is a smart thing to do at the moment, and that's been raised by mayors at the table. Also, we've been talking about, mayors are concerned about the ability to get quorum if many councillors are sick or self-isolated. So under the Local Government Act, council meetings must be in person and open to the public. So we are advocating strongly for the ability to have meetings online as opposed to meetings where all the councillors and the public is present. And we feel that that is a very important thing to be able to do just during the time of the emergency to make sure we are able to meet, but also to protect our safety and also the safety of the community. Another issue which has come up, and I guess it might be a little bit early at the moment, but wait and see, is the future of the local government elections scheduled in October. Will they go ahead? Will they be postponed? We don't want the scenes that we saw in Queensland. So mayors are raising this issue, and I guess the Minister will have to give it some consideration. But we'll also need to find out and make an assessment later down the track to see how we are travelling with this pandemic and whether the council elections should proceed or be postponed. Mayors are also asking about additional support to councils. There's a pressure to provide rate relief. Many councils just can't afford to do that. So, and councils also recognising that in the recovery stage, we're going to need to support our local economy, our tourism industry, and provide a stimulus package and grants to be able to support them. So these are some of the key issues that have been raised by mayors. Certainly the financial viability of local government across Victoria, and also the ability to support local jobs and small businesses in their communities are very key, important factors to consider.
I think I heard your puppy expressing support for delaying the elections in October there. I think that was a vote for do that. Lambros, I don't expect you to speak for the Minister, but just confirming that all of those issues have been raised with the Minister and the response is that it's being considered?
Yes, we will hopefully have announcements in the next few weeks about all of those issues. Right. And I must say my puppy Luna is a 16-week Dalmatian, and she's very happy to have me at home. But she's also enjoying spending time here, and this is, I guess, one of the challenges that we all face by being at home and also being able to maintain our working commitments and our civic commitments as mayors and councillors.
Absolutely true. We'd love to meet Luna. She sounds like she might be a bit rambunctious at the moment, but perhaps another time. One last question, Lambros, before I let you go. Why is, now of all times, is it important that members remain members of the VLGA, and what support is coming for members from the VLGA?
Well, the VLGA is the voice of the local government sector to government. And in times of a pandemic like this, it's important that that voice is heard and that voice is recognised. And the advantage of the VLGA is that it's an independent organisation. So it's not fearful of taking up issues to the state governments and making sure that the local government voice is heard. So like all organisations during this pandemic, it's a difficult time. So I would like to encourage all of our members to continue to support us and maintain your membership. but also those councils who are not members to join, because we are stronger together and we are able to advocate more effectively to governments about the key issues affecting the sector if we all stick together and have a stronger organisation. So the VLGA, it's your voice, and make sure that you pay up your dues and join if you're not a member. But without these organisations, without the peak bodies, we wouldn't have the ability to come together and advocate on such important issues, particularly in times of a crisis.
Indeed, well said. Lambros, great to speak with you. Look forward to speaking with you again. All the very best. Give Luna a pat for us and hope to see you soon.
Thank you very much. Yes.
We've been speaking with the President of the VLGA, Councillor Lambros Tapinos, the Mayor of Moreland City Council, on today's VLGA Connect. We'd like to hear from you. If you have an idea for a story, you'd like to tell us about something that's happening in the sector that is worthy of telling everyone about, please get in touch at vlga@vlga.org.au, and we look forward to joining you for future editions of VLGA Connect.